Do you miss the old Chinatown that way? Like the very crowded,
Yeah, I would say yes, in that sense, definitely.
When we mention Vancouver Chinatown these days, what are the first things that come to your mind? The lion dance? Ginseng? Dangerous? The younger generation of Chinese Canadian has little ties or emotional connection to Chinatown, where most of the immigrants, regardless of their ethnicity, stayed or went to when they first landed in Vancouver. The Vancouver Chinatown is one of the biggest Chinatown in North America, in which the early Chinese immigrants who came for the gold rush then settled in what was known as Shanghai Alley and Canton Alley in the 1890s. Most older generation and baby boomers would regard 70s and 80s to be Chinatown's peak. So, how was Chinatown like back in the 70s and 80s? What were Chinese doing in Chinatown at that time? What were their fondest memories in Chinatown back in those days? What do these Chinese Canadians think have led to the downturn of Chinatown after the 80s? Here we have interviewed Angela, the former executive director of Success during the 70s and 80s, and David, the manager of a business in Chinatown in the 80s, which later moved to Richmond.
Personally, would you go to like do grocery shopping in Chinatown or?
At that time, yes. At that time, back in the 70s, for sure in the 70s, and I would say yes, and probably all of the 80s, Chinatown was the main place to get Asian product, Chinese product.
Chinatown in the 60s and 70s, I think it was really unlike nowadays. It was booming. Most of the good Chinese restaurants are located in Chinatown. Well, I was involved in the 70s, but I heard even in the 60s, they have a lot of night life in Chinatown with neon lights. And, that's what I heard from the Lohakiwa. Yeah, but in the 70s, it is still like the center for shopping, for in particular day-to-day goods like groceries. For almost a lot of Chinese go there to shop because for Chinese food and things. Chinatown was also a social cultural center for a lot of Chinese at that time. A lot of kinship clubs, 堂所啦, those 同鄉會啦, also Cantonese opera 粵劇嗰啲 clubs 啦, a lot of Chinese schools too. Like the Wongs runs a big Chinese school, and in fact, like besides Success in the 70s, around at the same time, the Chinese Cultural Center was built around the same time. So Chinese Cultural Center and Sun Yat-sen Garden, and Chinese feel really proud to have all these places to preserve the culture.
So you say like Chinatown has the essence of Chinese and also bring them a sense of pride?
Oh yeah, and it was really a focus for like when we have festivals, when we celebrate Chinese New Year. That's the place to go.
What are some of your fond memories in Chinatown back in the 70s and 80s?
Fond memories. I think at that time the friendship was good, and then also me and probably some of the staff at Success. I think we know the community pretty good, and we had a joke. One of my staff, he is so popular that people come and ask him questions, like especially those 唔識英文嗰啲啦. He'll help fill in forms and help them to apply UIC or housing or whatever. And when he walked, like Success was across from Strathcona School, elementary school, which is I think 700 block of East Pender, and the restaurants are mostly located in the 300 block of East Pender. So whenever he walked down the street for lunch, he was stopped so many times. so that's how we I think people at that time know about the staff pretty good.
Something that was memorable back in the days.
Yeah. I would say it was still a very vibrant and busy, crowded place. Yeah, I don't know. I used to when you go down to Chinatown, it's just a lot of people. It's like, especially on weekends, it's like going down to Robson Street or something, where you got tons of people walking around shopping, and everybody's, you bump into people that you know down there. But that was then. Then as time went on, it became, I think more and more people started leaving the Chinatown area because it's so spread out now, with the Chinese retails and all the shopping. Chinese people, they love to shop. Doesn't matter what it is, right? They just like shopping.
Yeah.
And Chinatown right now is not really the place for shopping right now.
What do you think happened in Chinatown that people start to not go to Chinatown anymore?
Well, a few things. One was parking, but they did solve that somewhat by building. There's a big parquet in Chinatown when they did that. When I think that was okay. Thank you. When the Merchant Association there.
Yeah.
They started seeing the need for parquet because they were losing more and more customers. So then they started building the parquet, thinking the parquet will, because it was very low price there to park there. So people start coming back down Chinatown. But unfortunately, I don't think so. I think actually. The newer generation are not really into Chinatown as much. They are more into you see what's around Richmond right now, the new shopping malls and the Aberdeen centers and those things, right? Because Aberdeen centers came up in the early 90s, I think 91 or something like that, right? So and then it was something fresh, it was something different, and Chinatown was really mainly for the people, the older generation, the ones that's been here for so many years, and it doesn't have the appeal that the younger group likes.
Several issues. I think the drug issue, the red light, which is district, which is so close to Chinatown. And people start, as we analyzed it, when Richmond was built and other places, people don't go to Chinatown to shop, and so the Vancouver become there are so many different Chinatowns throughout Vancouver, so it has really the limelight has gone.